Oh boy, welcome back to the Rotom podcast. This is, as I announced, this is my second attempt at doing this. Probably something to do with the noise gate I had on. Absolutely screwed up the audio. So, back at it again. And you know what? But let's pretend like I didn't massively mess up and I'm just recording this fresh, okay? So, here we go. Welcome to Season 18, Week 1 of the Rotom Podcast. This season, we're going to be splitting it into two separate divisions for each episode. Covering the East Division this time. They finished their battles first. I'm going to record it first. I'm going for a California Rest in Peace simultaneous release of these podcasts. So, that's what I'm aiming for. I don't think I'm going to stagger them. But also, schedule might be a little bit fluid. My work schedule's changed a little bit, so we're going to see how things go. But let's hop into the first battle of the week. We have a pretty decisive battle with Connor taking on Tyler. Tyler did ask me about 2 hours before this battle went up, hey, what's that bullshit Crystal Dynamax thing called? Just so everyone has a baseline of what Tyler's working with in this generation of the game. Okay, so team preview, lots of ghost types. Lots of like ghost and dark weaknesses on Connor's side of the field. Granted, he also does have two dark types. So, and I don't really think that the matchup here dictates that is going to be too crucial. Just something to note. But let's hop into this. I'm going to try to keep these a little bit quick. So, Meowscarada leads off against Wochin. Wochin easily eats up this U-turn. Like, only doing 93%. Very well calculated. Big knockoff on the Oricorio. This Tailwind goes up. Not really relevant for any of this battle, because... also, like, just look at his team in general. It's going to outspeed pretty much anything that comes out anyways, except for this Accel Rock, which is priority. So, it didn't really play a role at all. Meowscarada also would have outsped this anyways, but we get the Flower Trick. Always crits, very scary, very strong. You know what? I've been pretty impressed with Meowscarada in this first week, because we saw it here, and then we also saw it in a game in the West. Fun little interaction on that, the Skeledirge thing here. Went for the Torch Song. Thermal Exchange boosts the attack of the Baxcalibur, but it's unaware Skeledirge, so it doesn't care. But it's also going to very easily go down to this Meowscarada, which has a phenomenal matchup in this. I'm surprised he didn't stay in Flower Trick. I bet you that would have probably come close to KOing. Azumarill is going to eat up this Tinglu. Just, play rough it to death, out of here. Meowscarada is going to come back in, be able to terrestrialize grass and clean up from here. No grass resist left. It also had KO'd the two existing grass resists. Meowscarada had a huge week. Actually, I didn't KO both of the grass resists. It didn't KO the Oricorio got the KO on the Wochin. I might have called it Tinglu earlier by mistake. Tinglu's also in this battle. But I don't know, that's about it. Not really much to say about this. Connor didn't get pressured at all from Tyler in this battle. And that he was able to pretty much just attack whatever was in front of him with fantastic results. The times we've seen Tyler really thrive in the past is where he just has a bunch of big offensive threats that can stay in and click buttons. He has that with Gallade, Lycanroc, and Azumarill, but I really don't think Skeledirge plays to his strength there, neither does Wochin. Ursaring, an argument could be made. Interesting, I didn't realize he was Flame Orb, and not Eviolite. You can run Eviolite Ursaring, Tyler, if you end up watching this. But I think that's probably going to wrap this up. Nice win for Connor. Really diving into things this season. Good luck to him. Moving on, we've got you know what? I put these in this order because I wanted to get the quick matches done first. And here we definitely have a quick one. Now, Papcoon said he was throwing this match to Curtis just to be nice. And you know what? That's very polite of him. He's a nice guy. So leading off with Glamora, as you do. I have, real quick, before I get into this, I've I had an Iron Treads team before we had started drafting. Played it a lot in OU, so I saw the matchup between Iron Treads and Glamora a lot. And it's pretty textbook, especially when Goldengo's in the back, because these two are always paired together. First thing you do is knock off, because you want to get rid of this thing's focus sash. And then you're just gonna follow up with two. You're just gonna go two knockoffs, because usually, I think you could do whatever you want the first turn. You just can't rapid spin. Rapid spin's not the play. You could earthquake or knock off, but I'd probably go with knock off, because the Glamoras usually get scared because they're either focus sash or sometimes they're air balloon. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the air balloon ones. If it's air balloon, you double knock off. If it's focus sash, you earthquake into knockoff to catch the Goldengo. That's what you do. You don't rapid spin the first 2 turns. And you know what? Curtis follows that pretty much to a T, gets the knockoff here, but now he can react because he didn't go into the Goldengo, which is atypical. But Papcoon responded appropriately, predicting the earthquake. Nasty Plot's a little what's the word I want to use? Ambitious, all things considered. Dockspun's a perfectly viable switch to this. The Charm, I really like Charm on Dockspun. It really helps it function as a defensive option. But that trick is fantastic from Rotom Wash. Locking the Dockspun into supportive moves, and especially considering the prep that Curtis reveals in the back here, is also very good. Thunder Wave here, easily blocked by Goldengo. Make It Rain, that's a big time over prediction, I think. Again, not that just based on how things goes, I don't think it matters too much. Even if he had Shadow Balled here, I think we get an identical outcome. Obviously trying to either catch the Zoroark or the Mousehold in the back. But I think you have adequate answers to those things. I think you just could have clicked Shadow Ball there, because even if he goes into the Zoroark, you're going to pop its illusion. That's taken care of. If he goes into the Mousehold, just switch up moves next turn, because I don't think he reveals to be choiced. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, yeah, he might be Scarf. 193. Yeah, maybe he is, because I bet you this is Max Speed Rotom, because we saw it go for the Choice Scarf trick. So, but I still not a big fan of that play. I think you'd rather do things the other way around. Anyways, I digress. Because we see the Make It Rain come out, big old Volt Switch. In comes the Salamence, and right here, okay, so if this is Choice Scarf, you don't have any priority in the back. You got a pretty safe Dockspun switch in afterwards. Yeah, I think you just go for another Make It Rain here. Make It Rain, fun fact, for those of you who want to crunch numbers about it, 3 consecutive Make It Rains is stronger than 3 consecutive Flash Cannons, even with the drops and everything. The third Make It Rain is still stronger than, or no, it's not stronger than the third Flash Cannon, but the damage output is there. 3 Make It Rains stronger than 3 Flash Cannons. So you might as well, don't be discouraged to click Make It Rain a second time, even if you already have the drop. But he goes into Dockspun here. I don't know if he forgot he was Choice Scarf, because he throws up this Wish here, which I'm just not a big fan of. Things really fall apart pretty quickly here, because you get up the second Dragon Dance here. Now he's just too fast, and it's over. Game's over. We've seen Salamences before. I think Salamence is going to kind of fly under people's radars here a little bit this season, just due to and also I'm wondering if this Glamora had anything to touch the Salamence. Maybe he had Earth Power and Papcoon's brain just melted. I've seen a lot of brain melting is a epidemic in the league. We'll talk about it in the next episode I record. But Salamence runs away with it here. There's a lot of really good Dragon types in the league, and I do think Salamence might fly under the radar a little bit, just due to the fact that it's not like the flashy new hotness. But like Terrestrialization gives it some ample setup opportunities, and Moxie really, Moxie can get away with you. Get away from you, not with you. You could run away with it. It doesn't matter. But Curtis able to handedly handle the president of social media and the Texarkana Toxics. Rough start for Papgoon. We'll see if he can bounce back next week. Well done, Curtis. Oh boy, here's a long one, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna get into it. We're gonna put it on hyper fast. Actually, we'll put it to normal speed for this because this is pretty good. This is good stuff. We see terrestrialization come into effect pretty early here. Dugtrio trapping Jolteon. A tale as old as time. A song as old as rhyme, some might say. Because we see the Volt Switch blocked, and I believe we see that this is... Yeah, that's Choice Scarf Dugtrio, guys. So that's fun. Or maybe it's like a slow Jolteon. Maybe I'm mistaken. That'd be weird, though. So, Dugtrio Earthquake's a Grass-type Jolteon. This is, like, probably the best use of... last match. This is, like, I think one of the more creative uses of terrestrializations we've seen thus far. Pretty impressed with it. Second Terra Grass we've seen this week. But able to live the Earthquake easily. Fires off Terra Blast. Dougie's gone. That's a huge loss for Logan. It was something that could potentially trap and KO King Gambit. Also, Toxapex is going to become a long-term problem now that you just have to deal with. And Jolteon's the fastest thing on the field, and nothing on your team really wants to deal with it particularly badly. So, I do think this maybe could have opened up a door for Iron Moth if it had any way to hit Toxapex, because now you have, like, Fire Weak, Fire Weak, Fire Weak. Like, Garchomp is obviously kind of a big... But it's got, like, Dazzling Gleam or something. I don't know. I think you can make something... Iron Moth has opened up. Spoilers, we don't see Iron Moth really do anything in this battle. But let's get into it, and time to turn it up to hyper fast, because this battle goes on for a while. I think we see Logan apply appropriate pressure, and pressure is the name of the game here, because that is really what gives him the upper hand in this battle. Corviknight coming in, that pressure always going off and whittling away PP on Jabron's team. By the way, make sure I said it right. This is the Alabama Crimson High versus the New England Patriots. Nice exchange here. Logan tries his best to get up hazards, to pressure things. He burns that Garchomp, which is huge because the offensive centers of Jabron's team are really limited now. He's got a good check to King Gambit, and then also the Garchomp is burned. But the key here, I kind of blew past it. He keeps switching in Corviknight on King Gambit, particularly on those sucker punches when Espeon's in. That's really important because he's burning 2 sucker punches when he does that. So now this King Gambit, if he plays it right every time, is only going to have 4 sucker punches. Hopefully all of them are burned. And especially with the chip this thing already has, if you can play around a Sucker Punch, Espeon can really do a lot of damage in this. It outspeeds everything sans the Jolteon, which actually can't come in right now because those hazards are up. I guess it doesn't outspeed the Talonflame either, but the Talonflame also isn't posing a big risk to it. So popping back into it. And also he's got Morning Sun on Espeon. So important because he needed to keep it alive. It's obviously very important to the team. Jumping back to this Toxapex now. You see Toxic Spikes, Liquidation, and Recover. So the only damage that this Toxapex can do to Espeon is actually this Liquidation. You'll see later in the battle, again, because of pressure, that burn kind of sucks, but also this Corviknight is... right now, its job is just to be on the field and chew up PP on moves. This Corviknight's all about chewing up PP. What a fun 5th grade joke that I just came up with there. And it's doing it right here. You're seeing it's the drop kick's less important, but it's burning through some of those synthesises right now. This Serena is not going to be able to stay healthy because it's using all of its synthesises. I think this is showing Jabron is an inexperienced player. This is going to be a long slog of a battle. He needed to preserve those better. This is not a matchup he should be trying to take on here. He can't win it. And then he realizes, oh, I'm almost out of synthesizing. That's a problem. But the hazards go back up. And he does a good job there of actually magic bouncing those back. Wouldn't have done that if Garchomp wasn't burned, because it was a much lower risk right there. So now all these hazards are up. This King Gambit's on very low health. He really needs to prioritize spinning with that Serena again later. But right now he's putting in the work. He's just trying to stall this out. The crit on Talonflame's pretty nice. Hopefully this Hyper Fast isn't too fast, but keep in mind we're still about 30 turns away from the end, because this is about where I started watching in real time. And I was like, oh man, I'm glad that we've reduced the number of stats that we're taking. Brett and I are both happy for that. But here you start to see, oh, hold on, I gotta take it back like 3 turns. Can I do that? Yes, okay. So, he's starting to use up these liquidations. You see this liquidation on the incoming Corviknight here, and then he clicks it for another couple of turns. Not a good move. You really need those liquidations, because once they're gone, this Espeon is going to run roughshod over the team, especially now that Talonflame's gone. That's the only other thing that's a little bit faster, because this Jolteon's not really much of a threat. And things start to fall apart pretty quickly. This was by the way, in real time, I didn't like this Wish play from Logan. I figured like, oh, just keep the Sylveon healthy because it's going to help you stall some stuff out. Not really. You've done a lot of the stuff, a lot of the legwork you need to do. This doesn't really check much of anything else. This Wish is so much more important because I'm going to slow it down just a little bit here. He's going to be able to successfully pass it to this Espeon, which saves it a Morning Sun and allows him to put the pressure back on. And I think this is the turn that he goes for the Dazzling Gleam. No, it's not. Spoilers, he eventually goes for a Dazzling Gleam. But, you know, eats up another Sucker Punch PP there. Or pair of Sucker Punch PPs, rather. So funny every time. Yeah, this Corviknight can just click Iron Defense all day. It doesn't have to, like, it probably wants to conserve those body presses for a, you know, worst case scenario. But it's not that big of a deal. And this Toxapex is down to just 4 liquidations. There's a big Psychic. That's great. Logan has kind of a choice to make here, whether or not he wants to heal up Espeon or go for a Morning Sun. Let's see what Jabron does. I don't remember. Goes into the King Gambit. I think this is a good call, because you're either going to have Logan salivating at the opportunity to get rid of this Toxapex, or you're going to have him going for a Morning Sun, which is, you know, he doesn't have a lot of left. You can chew up a Morning Sun, and then also you're going to be able to get in King Gambit for free, which I think at this point in the match, you'd probably go for a Kowtow Cleave because he's showed off so many of those. That's probably what I would do. The Supreme Overlord comes in, and he gets the Morning Sun play right, so I was wrong about that. Burns up another pair of Sucker Punch PPs. This is bad. This King Gambit, if he does that play one more time and gets it wrong, and also the head games are really starting to manifest here, because Jabron has to be even more careful with those Sucker Punches. If he gets one more Sucker Punch play wrong like that, then this King Gambit is no threat to an Espeon. Something you don't really see too often. So we go hard into the Colossal. Is this just to get those spikes back up? Or the Stealth Rocks back up? No, okay. Oh, I like that because he baits out another liquidation. This thing's down to just one simple liquidation. It's actually pretty safe for Espeon to come in here if he wanted to, and he does. Look at that. And then does he go for the Dazzling Gleam here? He does it one of these times. There it is. Finally got the King Gambit down. Now he can attack pretty freely with Psychic. This Serena is easily in range of a Psychic. That's going to go down. The Jolteon's going to come in. He can actually eat a hit pretty safely. His only risk there was getting paralyzed, which isn't... I don't know. That could have been an issue, depending on what his Iron Moth set is. I don't know if Iron Moth has coverage to hit Toxapex. But he was, 10% chance of a risk there. Maybe you don't want to do that, but also you got to make that play with against Jolteon sooner or later. Might as well have it be now. Morning Sun up, last liquidation comes out, he lives it. This Toxapex now can't touch him. Easy to fire off a Psyshock here. And the burn that he put on it forever ago with that Colossal picks it up. Colossals, this is its first time coming to a League format game. So isn't that fun? But Espeon really clutches it out here. Logan played this incredibly well with Espeon being able to deflect status moves with Magic Bounce, and then also the pressure on the Corviknight. I know I've said pressure like 60,000 times in this recording, but it was so important. Like, it can't be underestimated, because that's how he was able to get back into this. He was in a bad spot, like legitimately. He was never really in control of this, but you know, Jabron, he's still learning the format. I don't think he made any bad plays here. I just think, like, he made an awesome play. The Jolteon Terrestrialization play, I think, is probably my favorite Terra of this week. Argument could be made for Salamence, but I really loved this, and it put the pressure on Logan very early. He wasn't able to keep it up, but you know, experience will fix that eventually. And now it's time to talk about our marquee match of the week.
Marquee match of the week. Now we have a theme.
So, marquee match of the week, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed champion, Brett of the Seattle Marinis. I don't know why I can't keep some of the team names straight in my head. It's a problem. Versus the man we've dubbed the most dangerous man in the ABL. It's Zhang. With his, you know, my prediction is he's going to bring Torkoal, I'm going to say, to 100% of games. I just think that's probably the way his team's set up, that's the way it's going to be most effective. And then he's got his weather team. This time he brought snow. Hail? Snow. There we go. Going to be another thing that I constantly get wrong. Brett has ways to deal with that. And we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So, then the way we're going to get into it is by starting. Okay, so we've got Bombardier leading off against Torkoal. Right here, so Bombardier, there are no flying resist on Zhang's team at all. Like a Choice Banded Bombardier is going to do easily 30% to Torkoal. Torkoal doesn't have a lot it can do back. Because I would imagine Lava Plume wouldn't KO. Like, if he was, like, crazy and decided to go, like, Specs Eruption, that's an option for him. But also, if he was Specs Eruption, then he's moving last, so probably no good there. So, we'll go with the Parting Shot first. I like that particularly against this team, in where, like, you're just going to want to soften up the hits that you're taking. Because, say, Titan's going to hit hard, Great Tusk is going to hit hard, Slitherwing's going to hit hard. If you're going to be pivoting, you might as well soften up the hits that you're going to be taking. Tatsugiri comes out, makes a lot of sense. I would imagine the reason for Tatsugiri is twofold. One, you see those Stealth Rocks go up right here. Also, Tatsugiri was probably mostly here to be like, hey, Floatzel, would you kindly fuck off? That's got to have been Tatsugiri's role. Floatzel's not here. You can play a little bit more fast and loose with the little sushi boy here. So spin coming out here, right? Is that what happens? Yeah, easy spin. You're not going to want to stand against Abomasnow. Veil goes up. Brick Break comes out. Fantastic bring of Brick Break by Brett here. Now, we're going to go a little bit into Garganacl because I feel like it's going to be a central character in the league this season. Not only because of, you know, what happens in this battle, but also what happens in a battle in the West that we'll talk about. Garganacl, I think, you know, one move that it has on 100% of sets it runs is Salt Cure. I would say Recover is probably 99% of sets that it runs. You'll also see Stealth Rock and Protect on some sets, but you'll also usually see Iron Defense or Curse, and then a fighting move, usually Body Press, or Earthquake. I'm speaking particularly from sets on the ladder. I haven't seen a lot of League play with Garganacl, so we'll see where things go. But I do think the ladder will inform most of it. Brick Break is its fighting move, which to me implies if it's going to set up, it'll probably set up with an attack move, because Iron Defense typically gets paired with Body Press just due to the fact that Body Press gets stronger faster. You don't need to boost Salt Cure because of the way it functions. You're really in it more for the residual damage than you are for the initial damage. So Brick Break comes out. Smart move to break this Aurora Veil. Boom, get rid of them Aurora Veils, get some damage off. The Leech Seed isn't a big deal because you see that does 24%. That is so SPDEF. That is super SPDEF. That's taking no damage. Salt Cure goes off. Two things. Snow is up. So this Abomasnow's defense is doubled because of it. Did 20%. That means it'll do 40% if it stays in too much longer. Takes another 12% after the fact. Also gets the residual back from Leech Seed. So it could probably hang out for a while if it wanted. But it really shouldn't. Torkoal comes out, I assume, on a recover. Yep, smart. Probably going to try to get those rocks back up. Oh, double switch. Okay, interesting. So, by the way, I haven't watched these in a couple of days, so I'm kind of discovering it along with you guys. So, that probably informs that, because if Torkoal had Solar Beam, I think it would have gone for it there. I think Brett scouted for it here with Tatsugiri, and then Slitherwing comes out, which means that Torkoal was just setting up the sun to activate Slitherwing's Photosynthesis, which we see there. Bad matchup for Tatsugiri. It's probably going to die to a Photosynthesis boosted attack. You send in your Screamtail. Brett sent me his team before the battle, just be like, hey, do you see anything crazy on here? I did note that the Screamtail had quite a bit of speed. I'm imagining the amount of speed it had allows it to stay ahead of like max speed 187, 300. I would say it probably stays ahead of Great Tusk, would be my guess. Like max speed Great Tusk. Maybe max speed this. But who's to say? Because we do see it pop its speed. It gets took that first impression not as well as I would have expected. I've seen a lot of max defense Screamtails. That means it also would have gotten if he boosted the defense more instead of the speed more, he would have gotten a defense boost in the sun rather than the speed boost. I'm interested to know if Brett had given that any thought or if he would just rather hit the speed tier. I would imagine he gave it thought. Brett's a very thoughtful battler. And team builder in general. I'm going to slow this down a little bit because they're overtaking me in thoughts here. So I'm assuming we see a Wish go up here or maybe like an Encore. That would be kind of a cool tech. Protect. Probably just see if he's choiced into anything. That's smart. Get up the rocks. Leech Seed comes out. It's something as a Screamtail user myself that I was a little bit concerned about going up against Pokemon that had Leech Seed this week. Screamtail's got a lot of HP. It's going to sap a lot of HP. It's a little bit of a concern. But look, Stealth Rocks goes up pretty good against a couple of things on the team. Sea Titan likely doesn't, or is likely not wearing heavy duty boots. Torkoal, we haven't seen anything of. We actually didn't even see if it's, what's it called? What's that item? Heat Rock, because the Abomasnow came out earlier. So I think I might have predicted this in the draft video. I would imagine Abomasnow and Torkoal and Pelipper, for that matter, are likely not to ever be carrying their respective weather rocks. I would imagine they're carrying a different item because you don't really want the weather. You don't need the weather to be up too often. You're going to be overwriting it by yourself a lot of the time. Well, let's get into this. Garganacl comes in. We know it's pretty safe. Look at that. 25% from a super effective Earth Power. This thing's so SPDEF, it's crazy. Probably just going to fire off another Salt Cure here as the Leech Seed comes out. Yep, keep chipping that Abomasnow down. Abomasnow doesn't have good ways to heal up HP, with the exception of that Leech Seed, so you might as well chip it as much as you can. Staying healthy there with the recoveries, but you know he only has so many of those. Rapid Spin comes out, clears those hazards. The Screamtail, I believe, oh nope, I forgot about the Heavy Slam. Man, I played the Screamtail team on the ladder. Played a lot of Great Tusk. Great Tusk is the most used Pokemon in OU right now. It never runs Heavy Slam on the ladder. I'm curious if Brett was caught off guard by this, or if he was just like, I can live any hit. Another thing just to note there, because that goes down. That kind of sucks. Close combat lived. You know, Brett knew this calc, no question in my mind. I think he might have been maybe risking a weird stone edge here, but I would imagine he probably weighed the idea. It's like, it's got rapid spin, it's got heavy slam. What are the chances it has not, like if it has stone edge, then that means it doesn't have either close combat or earthquake / headlong rush. That seems unlikely. So Brett must have felt pretty confident that he'd be able to live a hit here, and he did. I think he might have been caught off guard by the fact that Brave Bird only did 94%. That's a -1 defense. Great Tusk. Super effective hit. Bombardier's not weak by any stretch of the imagination, but 94% isn't what you want to see. I think he was definitely hoping that Great Tusk would go down. The recoil takes him down. Brett's down 6-4. Honestly, pretty early in this battle. Like, this is... He hasn't really done much other than chip. I mean, he definitely chipped this Great Tusk a good amount, but he's only chipped the Abomasnow. Otherwise, everything else is at full health. Definitely a concern for him. Garg comes out, goes water type. No, now this Garganackle has no, or sorry, Great Tusk has no super effective hit. Curse goes up. Leftovers puts him in a range where he can't be KO'd by the next one. If my math is right, this Headlong Rush should probably do like high 30s, and he's sitting at 44%. So he should be out of range of a non-crit. So we're likely to see a recover come here. Mid 30s. Look at that. I guessed it right. Recovered up. And also, I'm realizing nobody's believing that I guessed these right, because this is the third time I've watched this battle. But that's not the point. Sorry, moving on. I don't like this play by Zheng here to continuously Headlong Rush. I guess it kind of keeps the pressure on, like he's going to have to burn recovers and stuff. But I don't think that's the best use of your time. Like, you're not beating this Garganackle 1v1 ever. If this thing Salt cures too much up, there's no way you can beat it, because you've shown your whole set with Abomasnow. Now you can't hit it super effectively. You can only get Leech Seed off. You're kind of in a bad spot there. Sea Titan, even if it sets up, it's not really breaking through Garganackle if it gets too many defense boosts. Slitherwing can't hit it super effective. Masquerain can hit it on the special side, but it's shown that it's very specially defensive. Even though he's up 6-4 right now, and this Garganackle's weakened, Zheng is falling behind in this battle very quickly. He needs to try to recover from it. So he goes into Masquerain, which I think is a great idea. Especially because he reveals here, hang on, he has Haze. Fantastic prep. This is why Zheng is so dangerous, because he runs unconventional sets a lot of the time, but he has the right prep also. Like, he knows when to pull it out. So well done there. Salt Cure obviously does a boatload, but he's also going to have this opportunity here to get up a Suicide Sticky Web, essentially. As another Curse goes up. Is he Suicide? Oh, no, because he goes down to Salt Cure. Smart. Abomasnow's going to come out, throw off a Leech Seed, no doubt. Yup. Salt Cure, keep chipping him down. That Abomasnow's almost gone. But also, even more importantly, he has set up the Hail, giving this Sea Titan probably an opportunity to set up here. Oh, goes Hardness Slitherwing? I don't remember this. Tatsugiri. Shows off the heavy duty boots. Lives the first impression barely. Rapid spins up. Very, great plays by both of them. I don't know if the double was to, try to catch the Tatsugiri, and he barely lives. Brett's had a lot of barely live hits here. And Brett knows calcs. You're never going to catch him off guard with a, I'm just going to wing it. Brett knows his calcs. But Zheng's applying a lot of pressure here. So, well done there. Draco Meteor, gets off a good amount of damage on the Slitherwing as it goes out. Flame Charge. I really love this Flame Charge play, too. Because now Crocolore can come in, but it also can't do much back to the Slitherwing. I guess it could Torch Song or Will-O-Wisp. I guess that's a risk. Never mind. Crocolore would probably be a pretty good switch in here. Garganackle can't really afford to come in. It's going to take a lot of damage. Roaring Moon definitely can't afford to come in. It's going to go down. But now he's up 5-3. He's in a pretty strong position, especially considering his Sea Titan is at full health. His Torkoal's at full health. He's looking okay. Crocolore comes in. That's the right way to go. Torkoal comes in to counter it. Flamethrower doesn't take a ton of damage. Also blocks potential Will-O-Wisp if it had come out. Garg's going to come back in. Stealth Rocks goes up. Want to chip, especially that Crocolore, because that's definitely Eviolite. Has to be. Like, by law. Oh, man. Oh, the Bomb Snow lives, but also it's going to go to the Assault Cure, so who cares about that roll? But here we go. Sea Titan's in. Oh, wait, did I pause? There we go. Yeah, you saw the Belly Drum go off. This is a smart time to do it. Also, kudos to Zeng for EVing your Sea Titan right. I really hate seeing people click Belly Drum and it does 49% because they wanted to go with the odd HP number. If you don't know why you want to go with an odd HP number most of the time, let me know, or also somebody will explain it to you. It's basic Pokemon EV stuff. The Belly Drum goes off. Garganacl hasn't had a chance to set up. This might be a good opportunity for Zeng to kind of get stuff going here. Citrus Berry to stay a little bit healthy. Salt Cure goes off. Good. That crit definitely matters. Okay, and we'll get in. You'll see why later. That was a big crit. Crocolore comes in. Okay, now Crocolore. You're gonna see it take an Earthquake here. Spoke to Brett after the match. He was very adamant. Again, he knows his calcs. You see this Earthquake do 38%. That's a high-end roll, okay? This is a very high roll. Probably like top 3 rolls out of, the 16 rolls that are possible. I know we have some new players in the league, so real quick, there's like a random number generator between 1 and 16 that helps determine how much damage something does, so that way it's not always a static amount. There's 16 rolls that can go, ranging from high to low, usually like probably ranging like 20 HP at the most. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there, but somewhere in that range. This 38% is a relatively high roll. So he needs to get it, and he's at 38%, so he needs another high roll to knock him out. He takes a little bit more damage from the Salt Cure, gets it. That's big for 2 reasons. One, if he didn't get that roll, Recover, this Crocolore will slack off and be able to stall the Sea Titan since it's Salt Cured. The other thing is, too, even if Brett did like a silly thing, like went for Will-O-Wisp and missed and basically wasted this turn, the Sea Titan would have to rack up another turn of Salt Cure damage, because you see it go here, it's down to 12%. If it had to KO it again, then it would end up dying and Brett would be down only 2-3. But he has to sack Roaring Moon here, just so that way he can get the Salt Cure damage. And now, double down, okay? No Hail left, so it's just these 3 Sunny Boys. Great Tusk is on pretty low HP. We've seen it can't really deal with the Garganacl. Slitherwing can, if it kind of gets going fast. It really needs to, it needs to probably get off big hits very quickly, and we know it's not choiced, so I don't know if it's got that juice. Did he Terrastallize already? I don't think he did. So that's something to consider here. So Garg comes in, Torkoal comes in. I don't know what Zeng's thought process was here, because I figure he should double right out into Slitherwing. This Lava Plume is A, resisted, B, because of the ability Purifying Salt on Garganacl, it can't be burned anyways. I don't know if Zeng forgot that or what, but this is not a good play by Zeng. Because once this Garganacl gets up 1, 2, maybe even 3 curses, this game's over. This Torkoal really can't beat it if it doesn't have, like, it didn't really show what move it has, but it really can't beat it. This Great Tusk, it needs multiple crits in a row to be able to take down this Garganacl, and 31% ain't gonna cut it. Another curse here, recovers. So I do think here we see, nope, not a crit. But we'll definitely see a recover here. 82%. We're going to see the crit on the next turn. I remember that, right? Boom! Crit, 68%. This had to have Brett's butthole clench up so tight. I can't even imagine. It must have snapped shut like the little hatch on a submarine right before it goes down. But it's able to live that headlong rush, only taking 17%. And this is ball game, guys. With boosted this much, there's no way he's going to be able to come back. One last recover and then just start firing. Oh, okay. We're still clear now. He's risking another crit potentially, but at this point it's okay. Another crit. See right there. I mentioned it and it happened. Some sort of wizard. I don't know what the last move on Torkoal was. If it was Solar Beam, maybe there's a will, there's a way, who knows. But at this point, the Garganackle can't be beat, and he's just going to be able to come through. Like, I think the only way he could be beaten, if we had a Terra Electric Wild Charge crit, that's the only way. I mean, maybe just a wild charge crit. We could have a 0-0 win for Zhang. That would have been fun. But Brett comes out on top. Absolutely clutch win here. He was down 3-1. I mean, he was down 4-2 at a point. He was in a bad spot. He really clutched it out. Well played by Brett. Well played by Zhang. Fantastic game. Definitely worthy of the marquee match of the week across the entire ABL, not only just the East. Great way to start the season. Looking forward to what both of these teams do. Oh, okay. Let's jump back over to the Google Sheet. Because we've talked about the East Division. Let's get into some of... You know what? Let's talk about the standings first, okay? So, I might need to talk to Brett about how we're ordering like the tiebreakers this time. Because head-to-head tiebreaker is primary. That is going to kind of be what leads everything, especially later in the season. I don't remember how Peru shakes down. We'll figure it out. I'm going to check the rule book and get back to Brett. But we got win percentage, strength of schedule. Everyone has the exact same strength of schedule because everyone plays the exact same people. Winning strength of schedule and losing strength of schedule is going to be more important moving forward. So we'll talk. Like your wins, right now the winners have only, their losing strength of schedule should be 1, shouldn't it, Brett? I feel like that might be a problem, which will adjust slightly. Their losing strength of schedule, should be 1, but not the point right now. We got 4 winning teams, 4 losing teams. Not a lot to glean from the standings here because we've still got 6 weeks until the postseason, so let's not worry about it too much. MVPs. Garganackle is your weekly MVP due to a pending legal dispute. Salaman's also got 6 KOs, although I'm giving Garg the MVP because of the clutch showing, a lot of good defensive stuff. So your co-MVP is Salamence. If that's confusing anybody, just, Garg, your MVP, Salamence, your co-MVP. For some longtime ABL players, that'll be a fun throwback joke. Season kill leaders. We got 2 Pokemon at 5. I love that there were... I was going to say how many KOs there were in the league this season, this week, and I don't know, but let's find out real quick. It's 32. 32 KOs in the league this week, and 22 of them are just among 4 Pokemon. And 29 of them made it on the kill leaderboard. Death leaders will be updated later because right now it's been for a while. It's just going to be a multiple way tie for first. Can I zoom in on this and make it look not terrible? That's fine. But, it's ugly. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to deal with a little zoom out thing there. Let's look to next week. Here we go. So next week, we've got Curtis taking on Jabron. I believe Curtis has been a big proponent of Jabron. We'll see where things go. I don't know. Whenever there's a new guy coming to the league, there's basically an unspoken sponsor of that team. Hey, I'm training them. I'm teaching them the ways. And I feel like Jabron's might be Curtis. Maybe I'm getting the roles wrong. And then we've got Texarkana Toxics taking on the Alabama Crimson Hive. Toxic's really looking to bounce back. Alabama with a close win versus an inexperienced team. We'll see if the old veteran Logan, the only person, by the way, who's played in all 18 ABL seasons, true veteran of the league, can really pull it out. We've got the Minnesota Typhlosion taking on the Oakland Galators. The Gallades used to be in Green Bay. I think this might be a much more interesting thing. It's like an NFC North sort of rivalry. But we've got Zeng and Tyler, two of the most unpredictable set builders in the league. Really looking forward to their matchup. And then we have the Seattle Marinis taking on the Storm Lake Dracozolt. Storm Lake, Iowa, or Illinois. Don't remember. We looked into it. But, my voice is getting a little raspy. I've been talking for a long time. Got a lot of footage to compile here. Thank you for listening to this coverage of the East. If you're from the East and you just go listen to the West one too. That's fun. And also, if you're from the West here, listen to the East. The West one should also be up right now. So listen to both. Listen to, to just especially get an eye on it, because if you want to go to the championship, you're gonna have to face these teams anyways. So West, East, East, West. Get all your ABL information here. If you have any notes, any thoughts on things that I should add or talk about, if there were transactions, I'd talk about them, but the East didn't do any this week, which means everyone's happy with their team, which is great. But I think I'm going to stop here. Thank you all for listening. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.